Hello, everyone. Um, I don't want to say I was like having a rough day. I just, um, I feel like I'm trying to get back in on track, back in flow. Um, but I was hitting some resistance, and I had been talking back and forth with a friend on Facebook last night, and just a couple of her posts just were like clicking with me. And she said, message me if you want to chat more. And I didn't want to do that because then I'm asking for help. And I think that's a very human thing to struggle with is we don't want to ask for help. Um, but I knew I needed help. And I think there's also this component of I want to figure it out on my own. I'm smart enough. I can do this. I've got this all handled and under control. And I'm going to get this. And I'm getting close and I'm talking with other friends and things like that. And I'm getting there. But I needed something else, something more. And so I went ahead and chatted with her. And if I'm completely honest, at first, most of her response, I was a little bit frustrated with internally because I'm like, that's what I do. That's who I am. That's what I've been doing. And then all of a sudden, boom, this illness, and it's really just catapulted me into I was in flow, I was in positive, you know, thinking about things. And then I know at the end of May, like I just became overwhelmed, like I was being taken under waves of where I couldn't swim anymore. I was literally drowning. And I know a part of me literally just kind of gave up, and when I would try to meditate, I would just fall asleep. And that was really hard because that's been my go-to for 3 years since I started meditating. Um, and to like feel like I lost that capability, and it just made me further alone and isolated. And um, so we kind of went back and forth, and um, here's some of the things she said because, and I wanted to get this out because I know health and relationships and things like that, they can bump us off course and they can make us struggle. And I truly, on some level, feel like there is a deeper reason for all of this, even if it is seeing things in that spiral and getting that deeper understanding of me and my power and getting back on track and what that feels like, because I know the next time I come across somebody who needs that, I've had this experience, and I'll be able to help them if I need to or if they want it and all those things. But also, as a parent, I will be able to teach and guide my kids in a similar manner. So, some of the things she originally suggested with back on track, um, to say to myself kind of affirmations. And I sometimes have a hard time personally placing affirmations in a very, I think, the best way. So where they are actually positive and there's no negativity and you're not bringing that vibration in, you're bringing that positive vibration in. So I want to be in extreme health. Like, I would have never thought to phrase it that way. I would have just said, I want to be healthy. I want to be in extreme health. Um, I love allowing money to flow into my experience. And again, I would have just said, I want money. Like, I feel poor and I'm struggling to pay everything. And instead of focusing on the struggle and the energy of struggle, even though I know not to do that, it's my mind is still going there and jumping there. So I love allowing money to flow into my experience. I know money is going to flow into my home birth fund, things like that. I need to start changing my mindset. Um, I love when life is easy because we do. Um, and life has felt anything but easy right now. I need to focus on life being easy. I like to feel enthusiasm. I haven't felt I'm getting to enthusiasm, um, but there hasn't been a lot to be enthusiastic about. And making that choice that I am the person that chooses to be enthusiastic. And so these were all very powerful, but I was just like, I was doing that, and then this all happened and everything. Um, and she said, our energy is either in flow or introducing resistance. And I really think that's true. Um, at some point I chose to stop being in flow, continue to be in resistance, like, no, I'm not doing this, no, this isn't happening, things like that. Um, and I really also wanted to figure out why this is happening, what I did wrong, how I could control it, and all of those things, of course, aren't in flow either. Um, and she said, it's really no benefit to look backwards because that takes away my power from this now moment. I'm going back to the past, and I know I've even said, I've done videos, when we're looking backwards that leads to depression, when we're looking too far forward that leads to anxiety. The moment is now. Like, I've literally said these things, and yet I'm still struggling with doing it. um and I think that's part of the human experience. Things are going to pop up and come along, and it is going to throw us off our course. And yet, it didn't take me a year or 2 years or anything to get back on track. It's been 2 months. Um, and for part of that time, like, and part of me, I didn't care. And part of me was trying, let's get this back. Let's get this back. Um, and needing to still be there and in the right frame of mind too. And I think it's just part of that was still going with the flow of what was happening and processing it and things like that. Um, could I have done things differently? Yeah, but I'm not gonna look backwards to wonder about that. I really want to move forward now. And I think there's ways that I could have made it 1,000 times worse, if we're being honest. So, hey, I'm proud that um, it didn't take me 6 months, a year to get back on track. It took me 2 months of a really horrible time with my life completely being rocked and changed in a lot of ways, um, to really you know, getting back on track, getting back into flow. Um, and so some of the things she also said was, if you're not feeling in flow, relax, meditate, and go with those general statements of appreciation. And um, I know I wasn't able to meditate, and when I wasn't able to meditate, I think I kind of just gave up on everything else. I would just fall asleep. And my thinking was my body must need sleep more. Um, and I didn't keep trying or anything. And I did I'm in Lori Ladd's Patreon community. And in 2 months, I have not watched a single video because I just wasn't there. And um, I couldn't be present in that way. So I'm going back and like, how far back do I need to go? And I went back to her June 4th meditation, and it just says guided meditation. It's not even titled like some of her other meditations and things are. And so the meditation was literally perfect. And I at first was kind of in and out, and then I literally felt sucked in at a certain point where it's exactly what I needed to do. It was tell this guide your fears and things like that. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to take those steps. There are things I'm afraid of. Um, and at the same time, I needed to remember who I was and my power and my energy and my freedom that I declare, that I don't claim, I don't get from anything else. I declare that. So, but I was getting hung up talking to my friend about, this past stuff. And she's like, you've got to ignore your issues. And I'm like, what? Like my ego's going, what? And I need to just think about what I want. And I'm like, I can't do that. I have to find the cause, and I got to find the reason. And I was talking with some of my other friends because I was just like, I don't understand this. And they're like, you're a feeler. You want to feel and fix things and figure it out. And if you were just, not a feeler, like more of a thinker or whatever in a different way, then it wouldn't be such an issue. You just be like, oh, well, and you go on. And I'm like, like people do that? Like they just go, well, screw it. I don't need to know why, and go on. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? I missed that TED talk. So, I know I've been focusing on what's not working. And I know that creates more of it. And the first friend that I started off talking to this morning reminded me of that. I need to focus on what is working and allow that to dominate my vibration. And I know, just like making any new pattern, it's going to be difficult, but in the same breath, I've done it before, and I know I can do it. And I don't think it's going to be as hard as it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when I was starting to break down old patterns and things like that, because I have done it before. I just need to get back into it. Something else she said was, where my attention goes, energy flows. And I've heard that, and I've said that, and I need to start I think part of this getting back on track is being aware of where my attention is and where my energy is. And, giving too much energy to, I'm sick, what's wrong with me, trying to figure things out, trying to make things safe, and instead of focusing on what I'm wanting, and how I'm choosing to live. People who have a harder time of letting go, they want to find the cause and fix it. I need to start ignoring that and moving forward. I don't have to fix anything. I just need to be. And be who I am now. And I get to write the internal dialogue in my head, and nothing, a diagnosis or anything else, doesn't get to determine that. So I get to choose how I'm going to live with what's going on. I've literally seen in the last few months the power of what can pull us from our most aligned state. I've seen that. I was in a very aligned state, and it slowly kept chipping away until I just was completely pulled out. And I know that had getting back into flow and coming back into that, I have and will have such a deeper understanding of that growth and what it means to be in my energy and to feel safe and to feel free. And while maybe I can't control these issues, I can always control my heart and my mindset. And that's that's a big turning point to get back into that. And I know it will take practice. But again, like I said before, I know I've done it before. And so when you're circling back in that loop and you're coming down into that deeper understanding, it's a little bit tighter circle, and it's not as big of a deal because I've been here, I've done this. I've got the t-shirt. My mom says that all the time. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And I have. And I know I can do this. And so if you're struggling right now, maybe work with me on making some of those statements. And I love that her statements were just so, they don't seem off the wall. I want to be in extreme health. That doesn't seem off the wall. Like, it just seems like, yes, that's what I want in my reality. I love allowing money to flow into my experience. Well, yes, I do. Thank you. I don't like feeling poor in a poverty mindset, and I don't ever have enough. I love allowing money to flow into my expression. I love it when life is easy, because I do. I don't like when my kids are crazy and mad at each other and upset and all these things. No. I like it when life's easy. I like it when everybody's getting along and being loving and considerate to each other. I like to feel enthusiasm. I like doing things. I like being around people. And I want to keep doing more of that, not less. So I'm really curious what other affirmations people would add. I think I'm going to put these on index cards on my mirror in my bathroom and just places that, that I'll see them, because I know that will help me in that daily change. And I think I'm going to really start getting into meditating again, and I hope to be doing the group meditations we were doing before. I love doing those, and I don't feel quite there yet, but I know I will be. So I'm really enjoying doing my videos again, and I hope that my journey of growth and finding my energy and helping, and then kind of being pulled out of that and trying to get back into that, I know that's going to help somebody else who's starting on their journey or who has also fallen out. And I think that's part of this experience. That's part of why we're connecting and, being called to make videos and things like that. So if you have any affirmations, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear more, because I think personally that's something that I struggle with, probably because I start emotionally thinking about it too much and I start, wanting to fix it. So let me know what you think, and affirmations, stuff like that in the comments. I'd love to hear from people, and really get in interacting and having the community again. Have a great day, everyone.